Water is being let out of Lake Freeman to protect endangered mussels in the Tippecanoe River, drastically lowering the water levels on the lake. But now NIPSCO and the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service are working on a plan to protect the mussels, but also help the lake levels.
You can kind of see how far in they were buried. You can see all the algae growing there. So it was actually buried in the bottom.
Buried in the bottom of the Tippecanoe River. Field supervisor with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, Scott Pruitt, says the Tippecanoe River's water quality and slow water movement play key roles in why a mussel can be easily spotted.
Tippecanoe River is has one of the most abundant and diverse mussel populations in Indiana, if probably rivals any in the Midwest. 25 to 30 live species. 6 endangered species, federally endangered or threatened species.
But the endangered mussels in the Tippecanoe River are the reason for low water levels on Lake Freeman. To avoid violating the Endangered Species Act, Pruitt says in 2013, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service and NIPSCO agreed to keep at least 500 cubic feet of water per second flowing through the Oakdale Dam to protect those mussels. But a NIPSCO spokesman says that reading will now come from a gauge near the dam instead of one near Delphi. He tells News 18 because the measuring point is closer to the dam, less water will come through the dam from the lake. The temporary change was implemented late Tuesday night.
NIPSCO, in order to maintain the flow that they've been asked to, have had to draw down Lake Freeman and to maintain that 500 CFS. We're hoping that that's a short-lived thing. History tells us, based on historic records of how often these dry spells come and what their frequency is and duration, that this should be a short-lived situation.
U.S. Representative Todd Rokita wrote a letter Tuesday to the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service about his concerns about the effects of the low lake levels on businesses. He met with Pruitt Wednesday to get a closer look at the mussels in the river. He says that different parties involved are working on a more long-term solution.
We can come up with a longer-term solution that may not be perfect or a magic pill, but could actually mimic nature a lot better. And I would hope we can get to that before this happens again.